Support for the Players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation podcast, is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FTP at au.manscaped.com. If my math is correct, and it might just be, that's about 8 million balls. For the Players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation podcast is fueled by the Man Shake. I lost 30 kilos in 10 months using this meal replacement shake. If you want to support the show and Max and my weight loss journey, or to even start your own, click the link in the description below. The Man Shake. Real blokes, real results.
For the Players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast of 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in that games meeting. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can come and check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below. If
you want to join us as the conversation happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening to us on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it, or you can help support the brands and help support us, just like the team over at Manscaped. If you head over to au.manscaped.com, use the promo code FTP, get yourself 20% off and free worldwide shipping. But we'll have more to say about them later. Max, we are recording very late on a Sunday evening.
Because... Yeah, so I was gonna make the joke when we start the show, because we always introduce ourselves. I was gonna be like, you were gonna be like, I'm Ryan Betson, and I was gonna be like, I'm fucking tired.
I am so fucking tired. I'm absolutely rooted. So once again, we had a busy weekend, and then I greatly underestimated how long something takes on a Sunday. Hence, we're recording so late. Before we get into that, man, how are you? How's things?
Not too bad. I've had my mum down for the better part of all of this week, pretty much.
Oh.
My grandma got into town Thursday, so I now have my mum at my house. My grandma is at my house also. Had my sister and her partner stay over on Saturday night. We just had this big family gathering on Saturday for kind of to get together as like a memorial type thing for my uncle who passed away a couple of weeks ago. So we did like this big massive family gathering, and that went for like all day Saturday. And then Saturday night we busted out the literal slide projector and had like a family slide night. It was fucking awesome. And then I promptly fell asleep at like 10 o'clock Saturday night and woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. And I'm just like, I have to work tonight. Maybe I'll have a nap. And then I just realized that my wife and my kid are in one room asleep. My mom is sleeping in the spare bedroom, and my grandma is sleeping in my bedroom because I'm obviously not using my bed tonight because I work night shifts. And I'm just like, I've got nowhere to nap. So I've had about 4 cups of coffee since 5 o'clock tonight. And
how do you predict this going for the evening? Well, because you have a new coffee machine now. No one cares, but I'm telling them anyway.
So by the time I finish work tomorrow morning, I will have been awake for 24 hours. And then I'm just going to come home and die Monday morning.
Yeah, hard.
Luckily, because my mum's here, it means I don't have to wake up at my normal time because I have an in-house babysitter at the moment. So my wife can go to work and I can just snooze. So that's the plan.
That is
I've got-
that is literally
Mum-
the best possible outcome, really.
Mum's gonna take her out for the day, and I'm just gonna catch up on some snoozes.
Awesome. That sounds
Hopefully.
fantastic.
Although my body has this tendency to be like, it's a midday, you got to get up, and it doesn't matter whether or not I have an alarm set. I just wake up because that's what time I wake up. So hopefully we can shake that, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed for you. Fingers crossed.
How's your week been?
Look, I'll talk about my weekend first, and then I'll touch upon my week. So weekend's been interesting, very, very full. So I had Papa Betson come over. So I had my dad come over yesterday. That's Saturday, time of recording. He, myself, and my son spent the day together, which was great. Had a ton of fun with that. Which is very, very cool. So I haven't really I might touch about that later. But yeah, so we spent the day together. We got a haircut. As you can see, I've got a lovely new do. It's the same haircut I always get. My son got a new haircut. We then went to Bunnings and I bought a whippersnipper. And then we went to the Pop Culture Mill Market.
You have a whippersnipper. I may need to borrow that.
Deal.
Because I mowed my lawn and I'm just like, I don't have a fucking snipper, and there's just grass along the walls.
Well, that's why I had to do the same. I had the same thing. I mowed all the lawns and went, I have a house inspection real soon. I need to fucking get a hold of this. So you are more than welcome to come borrow my whippersnipper. But yeah, so I did that. That was fun. We went to Mill Market. We went to the Mill Market Pop Culture Warehouse. My son loves it. He calls it the superhero shop because obviously tons of superhero stuff. So we went there and he showed my dad all the statues and all the toys and just pretty much spent the entire time going, Papa, look at this. Papa, look at this. Papa, look at this. And it was perfect. It was exactly what my dad wanted and needed, and also what my son needed as well, which is great. And it was good for me as well. And today, as I tend to do like most weekends now, I think I've talked about it in like a big handful of the last shows, is I went to a wrestling show again. My friends over at DMDU, I have been coming more and more involved in the backside of it all, whether it be in ring crews, helping setting up the ring, pack up the ring, etc. What? It's because I said backside?
No, it's because you said coming into the backside.
Hey.
Hey.
Beautiful. Hot.
It's almost like you need some form of wrestling related podcast to
come back. Yeah, no, but the problem is I don't have time for that show because I'm off doing wrestling shit. So today, because the normal audio visual individual, they were out this week. So I got a phone call I sent a bunch of messages on Friday being like, hey, are you coming to the show Sunday? And I was like, no, my car's fucking fucked. I can't get there. And they're like, oh, but if you do you want to be audio visual person and we'll pay you? I'm like, I will find a way to get there. So I spent today being audio visual man, which is great. It's not too intense. It sounds fancy than it really is. It's just like I was just responsible for like all the theme music and all that timing and stuff like that, and just sort of keeping the energy of the place, I guess, going, because entrances and incredibly important within a wrestling company, because a lot of character comes across in it. Make sure it sounds good, etc., etc. And then the music that gets played throughout, just making sure the good energy. It was fun. It was really cool. So I sat there with, the run sheet to my left, OBS on the right, with all the entrances and like hopping, and I really enjoyed it. It was something that I really, really needed this week. So for anyone that does follow me on Twitter, you would have seen at some point that I just posted a tweet that was like, I've been thinking about it. I'm fucking depressed. And the answer is, I'm fucking depressed. It's been a really rough couple-ish weeks. It's been a rough couple of months, really. But I'll elaborate on that in a minute. But yeah, like this week has just been more rough than normal. But today was really, really good. Like, actually get out of the house, go do it, do something that I'm thoroughly enjoying with people that are great for me, that are supportive, and I was able to provide some value that kind of, it ticked all the boxes for me in terms of what. And fun fact, attending wrestling shows and working them is psychologist approved, according to. So I had a psych appointment on this week, and I was explaining what I do and how much I enjoy it. And they're like, well, then in order to help your current depression run. I suggest you keep doing it. I'm like, okay, what a shame. More than happy to. But yeah, so essentially, yeah, the last couple of months have been pretty fucking rough. I haven't talked about it publicly. That's probably time I kind of did. So back in November, my wife and I separated because I was unwell and broken and a lot of things. And mostly me. Like there was some challenges that we had, but that's all personal stuff and whatever. But either way, I made the call for a number of different reasons. And in that time, I have lived by myself for the first time. I lived with you for a little bit of that time as well. You know, big thank you, Max, for letting me open your house. And now, X amount of months past that, like I don't know, either it's all coming to a head because I spent the most time focusing on my son and my job and, you know, just all these things, keeping everything going, just surviving. And either it's all coming to a head now and it's starting to like literally kick my face in and I'm just having a really, really rough time. I don't know. Could it be seasonal as well? Because we're heading into autumn, which is going to head in, you know, like it's darker, time zone, daylight savings, you know, it's colder, all these different things playing into it once. I don't know. But yeah, I've had a really, really rough run in the last week and a bit. Now, I'm not telling all you lovely people at home this to make you feel bad or sad or whatever. Just that, you know, we do our very best to be as open and honest on this show as we can. Like, you know, we talk about it being a personality driven show, and that comes with the good of our personality, the bad of our personality, whatever it is, the good things, bad things, we share it on this show, and while also talking about PlayStation. But like that also does tie in to the gaming. So I've not really played anything this week because I just haven't had the motivation to do so. So instead of playing anything, I've just kind of been like lying on the couch, just staring at YouTube. Like I did find this one cool channel though. I'm gonna give the channel a plug. The channel is called, it's a woman named Hayley Elizabeth, and what she does is she talks about conspiracies, you know, true crime, all those sort of categories, like cryptozoology and stuff. But while she sits there and essentially gives a verbal essay to you about this topic, she does her own makeup. So she starts the show with like just clean face and go, all right, let's talk about the Bermuda Triangle. And then over the next 40 minutes, she's talking about the Bermuda Triangle while applying makeup. Now, I've worked at home a couple of days this week because my car shit the bed. The radiator just fucking hard gave out, so I can't get to work. I can't go places. I've just been home. And yeah, so like I'd be working on my computer. I'd start the episode, see her with clean face. I'm like, yep, no worries. Start listening to the Bermuda Triangle stuff. I look up, she's like halfway done. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. Look back down, tipping away on my keyboard, look back up, and then suddenly she's end the episode, face all done up. I'm like, you know what? Well done. I learned something, and I'm very impressed with your makeup work. That was nice. But anyway, in terms of like your games, like I got a bunch of codes right now. We both have a bunch of codes right now. So these are the ones that are sitting on my PlayStation that I've barely touched. MLB The Show, that came through. Haven't touched it yet. Wild West came through. I played it for like 10 minutes and my brain just wasn't there. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands we've been playing. I have not played any more of it. What else was there? Ghostwire Tokyo I've not played any more of because it hasn't been landing for me, nor have I been in the minds to do so. Horizon Forbidden West I still haven't finished, even though I'm like 2 missions away by the looks. Elden Ring.
Star Wars.
Oh yeah, Lego Star Wars, which code came through this week as well. I've played like an hour and a bit. And then I just kind of once again lost interest as well. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things that have come our way, and apologies to all those individuals that have provided those codes to us. We much appreciate it. I'm just sorry that I've not been rad, so I've not been able to do it. But I know that you've because of your own family this week, obviously the passing of your uncle we talked about last week, and having family down, you've barely touched anything either, right?
Yeah, I think I've played maybe an hour total of games. I dipped my toe into Lego Star Wars for a bit.
Well, we can talk about our very first and very early impressions of Lego.
That game, the Lego games are so fun and whimsical. Like you're running through. So started at episode. Is it episode 4? Is episode 4
New
the first
Hope?
one?
Yeah, New Hope is
yeah,
4.
yeah. So I started with episode 4. So I'm running around as everyone's seen Star Wars at this point. So running around as Leia, trying to find the droid to send the famous "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope." And as I'm running through the ship trying to find the droid, there's just random stormtroopers in jacuzzis having party bathtubs and stuff while everyone else is getting shot up on the ship. It's great. So I've played about half an hour of that. I've done like the first 4 missions. I've made it to Tatooine. I've met the Tatooine that you meet old mate Ben Kenobi.
Yeah, Sand Planet, yeah.
And then we've met Han Solo, and we've found out I've just rebuilt the Millennium Falcon, so I'm like super early on.
Yeah,
but the game is fun.
Yeah.
It's got that easy playability, being a Lego game. It's very clearly targeting a younger audience. So obviously it's very in its combat very simplistic. The auto aim is crazy good. For blasters, the melee combat, if you're playing as one of the Jedi, is awesome. I mean, to a degree, it's kind of just button mashing at the start. There are some skill trees that you can focus into, but I'm too early to get into that at the moment. Haven't really explored it much myself. I played like yourself about 10 minutes of Wild West. That game it looks rad, but it also looks deep in its mechanics, and I was just not in the right frame of mind to learn those mechanics. It's kind of that 2.5D isometric early Fallout style gameplay, and it looks rad, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. I played it like super late at night. I'd been up all day working and whatnot, and it was a bit intense for me to jump into. And lastly, I'm currently downloading MLB The Show.
Yeah. On Games Pass?
Give that a crack. Yeah, we were obviously provided a code. Ryan's like, hey, and I'm like, no, I probably won't play it. And then I'm like, no, I might check it out. And then I remember that I have Games Pass, so I'm checking it out. But we were provided a code, so I'll probably eventually play it on PlayStation also.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, to jump off your thoughts about with Lego Star Wars, it is very cool. So there's a couple of changes that they've made here. So this is essentially a remake of they previously they had made the Lego games for episodes 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, where this includes 7, 8, and 9, because they did do Lego Star Wars Force Awakens, but they never did Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. They were pumping them all together here. So that's cool. You get all 9 episodes of Star Wars. So I'm apologies because 5 of them are trash, but that's cool. But they made a lot of subtle gameplay changes as well. That gone is that 2.5D that we've used for the old Lego games. We're here, they've now gone an over-the-shoulder action adventure-esque style, which is a big improvement. However, at least playing in episode 1, you might have to attest to episode 4 here, but they rather in previous Lego iterations, they pull the voice or dialogue from the movie or franchise that they're pulling from, like Lego Jurassic Park just pulled voice out of the Jurassic Park movie. We're here, they've tried to get sound alikes or voice actors. Whoever they got to do the Qui-Gon Jinn Liam Neeson, horrendous. The person they got to do Ewan McGregor, not too bad, as Obi-Wan Kenobi. The individual they got for Jar Jar Binks, look, Jar Jar Binks as a character is already kind of an uncomfortable racial stereotype, but then you have someone imitating that uncomfortable racial stereotype. It makes it so much noticeably worse. It's rough. And also because a big part of Phantom Menace is just like diplomacy and talking and politics. Like they kind of speed run through the start of the game because they're like, look, none of this is action. It's like push. It's like no trade negotiations here because that's really unfun to play. But yeah, look, there's a bunch of improvements here. I imagine we'll see more as the games progress as we get into each of the
Star Wars movies, which is fun. You know, there's like 400 something unlockable characters to play, a bunch of extras, and you know, it is still at its core the Lego games that you would love. It's all about breaking and punching and things to make them into the bricks, and then you get the bricks, and the bricks become the coins, and you use those coins to buy more bricks or whatever. It's a bunch of stupid fun. But yeah, as you said, Weird West, dense, so I didn't really dive into it too hard. But I was like, if my brain's there, I'll give this some more time. And I think that's kind of only everything I've jumped into this week, at least this week. Oh, yeah, WA2K20. I played a little bit more of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands as well. Have you put any more in that yet?
Yeah, I got to a point. So I've done essentially the first area. I've unlocked the second zone, and then it hit me with hey, this is a high level area. We recommend you hit level 17. Come back later. And I'm like, okay, I will do that. And I did like a couple. I won't
do that and just fucking leave.
I did a couple of side quests, but yeah, like I said, because I've had family down and I don't get to see them very often,
Yeah.
I just like super haven't played games this week.
And that's fine. That does happen.
And spoiler alert, it may happen again next weekend because they're down for Easter. Like my dad gets in Good Friday, and my dad, I haven't seen my dad in like 2 years because he super hates taking time off work.
Well,
being someone who runs his own business, he's like, I gotta work, and we've managed to get him to take Easter off, so he's coming down for a visit, so it's gonna be awesome.
Well, we'll have a look at the week ahead, and if it is relatively unimportant, we might take the Easter weekend off. We don't take a lot of time off either. You know, even right now, we're sitting here recording at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night because of our busy weekend, and our weekends, you know, we're both doing our best to be more engaged with our families. Or, you know, be more social. So like, we're like, well, let's just keep pushing. Like we used to have a real set time, and bit by bit, it keeps getting pushed back, and it's probably going to be Sunday nights moving forward anyway. There's alternate plans. We will need to discuss them again too. But yeah, we might have to look at that. Maybe we can have next week off, because I don't see anything of major note happening in the coming week.
Yeah, nor do I, but who knows?
Yeah,
Sony may drop another blog post that they've acquired another studio.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. But if you guys don't see a show on Monday, that's why. We would like to take because it's also school holidays. So I'm going to take some time to hang out with my kid, because, you know, due to the circumstance that I said before, I don't see him often anymore, and it's genuinely heartbreaking. So if I given the opportunity, I'm going to spend as much time with him as I can when I can. And when it's school holidays and I don't have to work, I'm fucking hanging out with my kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, if nothing happens, that's why you won't see us next week. We'll do our best. No promises.
On Thursday, we'll have a behind closed door meeting. We'll have a quick perusal of what's happened Monday to Thursday. And if it's nothing, it's like, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Yeah, have fun.
There will be a Twitter post. We will actually let people know this time.
We don't normally not record a show. The only time that we just don't record, I think the last time we didn't record shows and didn't say anyone was November, when all my shit went down. So there you go. All right. Well, let's get into let's back end that unhappiness with an ad read. As we discussed previously, the Manscaped have been very happy with us, and they're wanting to continue their support of the show. But it's not just about keeping your nethers clean, Max. Australian autumn is here, and luckily, the sponsors of today's show for the players, Manscaped, are here to make sure the leaves are falling off your tree as smoothly as possible. The 4th generation performance package, which includes the signature Lawnmower 4.0, which is not behind me because I used it, has all the tools equipped to keep you calm and collected through all weather uncertainty. Time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to au.manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code FTP at checkout. Always remember, when you trim your weeds, the tree stands taller. But to kick off that new routine, as we mentioned, use the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to get the most precise shave on your hedges. Did we mention, Max, that it's waterproof? So that's right. No longer are you having to, do it over your bathroom tiles. You can do it in the shower. The shower catches it, puts it all down the drain. So as you know, using the analogy that you've just created, no need to worry about watering your grass with this tool. Equipped with an LED light, so you know it'll be a major asset to your new shower routine. And the start of autumn also marks the start of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April. Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. That's right. They don't just shave balls, they save balls. There you go. That's a proper ad read there for Manscaped. How's your manscaping this week, Max? We'll back end it with our real experiences.
It is actually starting to get to the point where we may need to retrim those edges.
Hot.
So it's been apparently my hair grows ridiculously slowly because this is about a month and a half now. Yeah. Since we started our manscaping journey. And just in time. So I actually have my when we first started, I signed up for their
Sorry, I'll explain. I just had a thought process, Millet.
I signed up for their I think I set it to bi-monthly, so every second month I will get a new set of razor heads and some more
nose thingies,
ball toner.
Yeah.
So I'm almost out of that, and it's gonna arrive just in time for my autumn's clean, I guess.
Which is good. Like, you know, look, it's coming that time, and you know, as you said, you've got old fucking Nana Cooper staying in your bed. Like, you're gonna come home from work and be like, Nan, the fuck out! I gotta shave my ball sack. Get out. And then you go to bed and have a snooze. But like I said, like I have been using all the formulations. That's like, you know, the shampoo, the body wash, the deodorant, etc. every day, sometimes twice a day, because I love showering. Showering's great, and I smell good. I feel good. So even though while you've done all your trimming and whatnot, you can like also smell good and keep clean, because it's not just about keeping everything trimmed. It's also about keeping everything clean. Like, it doesn't always just look good if it doesn't smell good. Clean your shit up. But once again, if you too want to support this show while also keeping yourself nice, clean, and tidy, because remember, it is Manscaped, but it's also Humanscaped. Just because it is titled for a masculine individual doesn't mean that you can't use it on your other parts. If you head over to au.manscaped.com, use the promo code FTP, you save yourself 20% off and you get free worldwide shipping. So big thank you to the team over at Manscaped for helping support the show for another week. Bingo. Done. Max, let's talk about this week in news. In a section we call Inform the Players, where we tell you all about what happened this week in PlayStation.
It's been a fairly light week for PlayStation-specific news, especially on the back end of the last few weeks where we've had tons. So let's kick some stuff off with some PSVR 2 adjacent news. So Unreal Engine 5 is currently being made available to all developers starting earlier this week. But as part of a presentation from the publisher, it has been confirmed that PlayStation VR 2 titles and the new IP from Haven Studios will also be running on Unreal Engine 5. It's not disclosed what PSVR 2 games will be running on Unreal Engine 5, although the first game out of PlayStation Studios' newest recruit joins a new entry into the Witcher series on the engine. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, CDPR announced that they were moving away from their Red engine to work with Unreal 5, so that's cool. So both the PSVR 2 and Haven Studio logos were shown on a graph detailing what studios are currently using the Unreal Engine 5 for their games. PSVR 2 appears in the top right of that, while Haven Studios is currently sitting in the bottom left. They are joined by the likes of Supermassive Games, Focus Entertainment, and 2K.
Like, it's really good that a lot of
everyone's starting to move to Unreal Engine 5. It obviously been made available to developers earlier this week, means everyone can start using it, working on it, getting their, getting hands on, getting face on, depending on what they're using it for.
Like, it's looking like it's getting Like it's been
Also,
around for a little while.
yeah, don't forget the Matrix game that is currently available on PlayStation 5 to download, free download. That was made in Unreal Engine 5. So if you want to see what it can do, go check that out.
Well, that's what I was about to drop actually, because like
Well,
no, that's fine. We've had people, we have seen people dipping in and out of Unreal Engine 5. Now, mostly it's been sort of tech demos, like that video we saw X amount of time ago, and then we saw the first real playable thing in that Matrix demo. And we're hearing about more and more studios getting their hands on it. As you gave a list here of like Haven and 2K and Supermassive, but there's also the likes of this week there was the drop that a new Tomb Raider game is coming from Crystal Dynamics. It's in its very early production, however, but they are using Unreal Engine 5 as well, which is really cool because like that first video that they showed kind of had real Tomb Raider sort of vibes to it. So it's kind of nice. Like, oh shit, well, if that means that we might be getting a Tomb Raider game in that level of scope, detail, and intensity, thumbs up.
I assume that means Crystal Dynamics is done with the Marvel's Avengers game.
Yeah, I all I can hope is that it's better. All I can hope is that it's better. But yeah, no, I'm really excited because it's one of those things. Like, if you looked at the games that were first made on Unreal Engine 4, and then where Unreal Engine 4 ended, where they're looking at over here, like the scope of which these games have grown over that time is amazing. And we look at Unreal Engine 5 right now, and we're already impressed with what it can deliver. Imagine what we're going to see once people have been spending a number of years with it, building it, growing it. It could be absolutely amazing. I'm very, very excited. Speaking of amazing, though, over this week, the BAFTAs took place. These are the British Art, Film and Television Awards. Yeah, nailed it. So if you want to talk about things that are amazing, this is the people winning stuff. So it was a great night for Sony at the BAFTAs early this week. Returnal brought home Game of the Year. Jane Perry also won Performer in a Leading Role of the Year as Celine Vassos in Returnal. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart took home 2 separate awards, one for technical achievement and the other for animation. And No Man's Sky received the award for Best Evolving Game. Max, do you believe these are well earned?
Yeah, obviously. Returnal was absolutely fantastic. It did get overlooked in a lot of Game of the Year awards that have previously been out. Obviously, It Takes Two took home a lot of those. Don't get me wrong, It Takes Two is a fantastic game. But I think the entire package of Returnal being not so much completely out of Housemarque's wheelhouse, but going from those very arcadey, smaller scoped games to something on this scale was a real piece of work. And yeah. I think it is very well deserved, like between its gameplay, its visuals, the sound design behind the game itself. Jane Perry won for her performance as Celine. It's such an intriguing game, and with the recent update, they've added more story content.
Yeah,
so that it's telling more of that vague, obscure story that you got in the base game, and they've added more as a free update.
But like to make things even better again, what I love, as you said, like when it comes to Housemarque, like Housemarque having never taken a game of this scope, of this potential, of this just complete plan, right? So be able to see them not just deliver an amazing game, but also have them receive the correct acknowledgement for it, could only makes me feel happy and very excited for the potential future of Housemarque, because like they were never in trouble. But like when there was a time that they wanted to step away from the arcadey games of the past, and they tried to go into that battle royale game, which I can't remember what it was called at the time, but which that's where they were heading, because they thought they needed to go with what the masses wanted, because they were finding that there was a very big ceiling with the games that they were previously making. It turns out they just needed to modify the games that they were already making into a current age, and they have done so absolutely successfully with Returnal. So unmeasured congratulations to the team over at Housemarque. Ratchet and Clank, the team over at Insomniac. Cool. Animation, I agree with. Technical achievement, though, all this is showing me is that I potentially have underestimated the back end of Ratchet and Clank. Like, I'm like, there's no way it can be that impressive. Like, it's all so linear, and I must be totally wrong. I'm happy to be wrong.
Speaking of things that could be wrong, let's talk some rumors.
Well done. Well done.
So, do you remember all the way back in June of 2020, Ryan? At
A little bit.
At an EA Play Live event, a new Need for Speed game was confirmed to be in development. According to VentureBeat reporter Jeff Grubb earlier this week, the next Need for Speed will be coming to PlayStation 5, but not PS4. Developed primarily by Criterion Games, the studio has apparently ditched last-gen versions in favor of focusing on newer technology. Grubb reports the game, quote, should be coming in November, quote, of 2022, and asserts the game is skipping last-gen. Quote, if you are a Need for Speed fan who has bought a next-gen console, here's some news. It's next-gen only. They are shifting to next-gen only. End quote.
Yes, in case just to reiterate, it's next-gen only. Now, I remember wasn't there some sort of leaked
there was
early
some
dev footage?
Like, early gray screen, like gray box.
Yeah, like a little bit rough. So,
and then nothing since.
Yeah, what's impressive about this is... so since the acquisition of was the acquisition of like Criterion? Was that only recent? Either way, EA, last one they did was Need for Speed Heat, which was a lot of fun. I quite enjoyed Need for Speed Heat, and I think we're discussing this around like Gran Turismo and then of Forza as well. One of the best ways to show off next gen, or what is the next generation of visuals, is car games, because they're relatively simple comparatively. You're not having to build giant fuck off worlds. You can kind of just make it really focused, and at least the cars can look fantastic. With Horizon, was it Motorsport, was it Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport that came out recently?
Horizon 5.
Okay. So, that kind of ruins
I think Motorsport's next. It's next.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, with GT7 being that a much more focused sim racer, and I guess Horizon's probably closest to what Need for Speed used to deliver, which would be cool. But, when you've got Criterion working on your Need for Speed game, who are best known for the Burnout games, do you think that we're going to get next gen level like car smashing?
I mean, that's the dream, but if that's the case, why wouldn't they go back to using the Burnout? I'm assuming
do you think Need for Speed has a longer legacy than of a name than Burnout?
Yes, but in recent years it hasn't been good.
No, but I think for the
so just because there has been more Need for Speed games than Burnout games, I think the love for the Burnout IP may be stronger than that of Need for Speed, just because of the lack of quality in the last few Need for Speed titles. Like, I don't think there's been a great one since like Underground 2-ish.
Heat was okay. I enjoyed Heat.
There's been some odd ones that have been all right, but they lost something along the way, and I can't pinpoint when or where it was, or what it even was to a degree. But yeah, it's just they just haven't hit the same as those old PlayStation 2 classic Need for Speed era.
Yeah, because I think it comes down to as consoles have grown and the expectation of what can be delivered has grown, you start to realize how kind of relatively surface level a racing game can be.
Especially an arcade racer. Like, obviously sim racers are much more deep than what the hold the accelerator for as long as you possibly can until you hit a corner and then handbrake unrealistically around that corner. Like, yeah, you're right. To a degree, the surface level of a Need for Speed-esque game has been very minor.
Yeah, because it's one of those things like, it's because a racing game is just racing. And then like now, back in the day, there were less prolific racing games, right? So you had Need for Speed, and you would probably get your Burnout or Juiced, or Auto Modelista was one I remember for some fucking reason. Gran Turismo, Midnight Club, like they kind of like, but none of them really landed. Like if you were ahead of the pack, if you were winning the race, quote unquote, also good pun, you were standing strong, which in this case, that's what Need for Speed was, because they were running off the back of Need for Speed Underground, Underground 2, Carbon, like the ones that kind of really capitalized on that whole street racing movement of the 2000s, especially around Fast and the Furious, etc. But like even Fast and the Furious changed the direction of what they were making. And tuner cars and like that street performance, like neons and woofers, and like it's so much in the popular zeitgeist that it's kind of tough to do that again. Like the only reason they could do that now is if they were to remake Underground 2, and it's just a nostalgia pop, and that would be the only benefit of it. Right?
I mean, the other thing is they could. I know they did it a few years back, but do Most Wanted. But
they've redone Most Wanted 3 times already.
Yeah, but I think it was missing local multiplayer, which is like one of the best things about it. You're sitting on the couch with your friend, someone's a cop, one person's a street racer, and then you're missing that. And I know a lot of games have moved away from that couch co-op these days. It's with everyone being online and readily available. I see that, but there are still benefits to that local multiplayer.
Yeah, but it's also
did it recently.
It's a technical bottleneck. That's the problem. So previously, no, it really is, because previously you were able to kind of like, if anything wasn't visually demanding, especially like they are now, you could just duplicate it, because you're essentially running 2 of the same thing. And if you've got a game that's running in 4K or 1440 upscale or whatever, and you suddenly have to duplicate that, that is a lot of grunt it's needed. Like if you play like a lot of Call of Duty games now still support local co-op, you do it and it chugs. Like it becomes almost unplayable. Like because the frame rate's disgusting, the visuals hard drop, it just doesn't look and play the same. Like there's a lot of benefit of lower poly counts and not as intense detail, but that's also part of is that part of the problem of the growing expectation around what a game should deliver, or is that just because as games have grown naturally, this is becoming harder? Because I think if you make a game that's couch co-op, people will play it couch co-op, but it's all about whether the system itself can run them. I'm probably I'm giving more credit than credit's due, but we'll see how we go there. Are you doing this next one, or am I?
You're up. I mean, I can do it if you want, but like,
well, if you want,
I know you're a big fan of Ubisoft games.
You do this, because then I can do the next one, and then you get your quick biddies back for this week.
All right. Well, let's talk about Ubisoft's shooter royale. Apparently, Ubisoft is reportedly developing a new battle royale game, possibly codenamed Pathfinder. This is according to industry tipster Tom Henderson, who writes that gameplay will be team-based, with groups attempting to reach the middle of a map in order to fight a big AI boss. The report also suggests that player characters will be distinct heroes, each with their own abilities akin to that of Overwatch or Apex Legends. However, the project is still in its early stages. If all of this is true, then Pathfinder is pretty much going to be Ubisoft's second attempt at a battle royale shooter, following on from Hyperscape, which is due to shut down later this month. Following a statement from Ubisoft back in December, basically the company explained that no one was playing the game.
Yeah, this is on the back of them also canning all support for Ghost Recon Breakpoint just after they tried to bunch of NFTs in it. So if that doesn't tell you about the how bullshit NFTs are. Also, side note, I guest hosted guest appearance. What the fuck? My brain is melty. I guest appearance on News to Reviews this week. And if you want to hear me absolute rant about NFTs, how are they? They're lovely. They're always.
I haven't spoken to them in ages.
Yeah, Zach and Lockie. It's always a good chat, and they do want to have you back on again. But I would love to. I always enjoy that show. It's a ton of fun. Like I just got to be a real cynical prick for 2 hours. It was awesome. Like,
As opposed to normally on this show?
shut up. I just buried Elden Ring for a while, and you know, it was a
How
ton of fun.
fucking dare you?
I know, it was awesome. Like, because both of them are really enjoying it, and I'm like, hi, here's a bunch of criticisms, and they're all like, those criticisms are accurate, but fuck you. But yeah, so is it Pathfinder or Pathfinder? And you spelt it wrong.
It's Pathfinder, and I mistyped it. Fuck off.
Is this Pathfinder?
I think it's Pathfinder.
Because that's
is
worse.
really weird.
Because that's very misleading. Because of the tabletop role-playing rule set of Pathfinder.
I mean, it's just a code name. Calm down. Pathfinder has classes. Fuck off.
I don't know. A Pathfinder shooter royale would be interesting because it's all fantasy.
It'd be terrible.
It would be garbage. So that was in case someone goes, oh, that's interesting in a positive, or that's interesting in a negative. It's very much interesting in a negative. Like, that's not good. Is it like, oh, this is a bigger question, Max. You know, the way most trends work is that something pops, and then within like 3 to 5 years, we start to see all the copycats. This is very much in that space. It's a copycat of Fortnite and Overwatch and like all those hero-based, and Apex that they mentioned here as well. Is this too late? There's no room. Like, there's like, is there room? Is there no room? Like, how would this even want to survive? If they tried to do it with Hyperscape and it failed, like, what makes this different?
I mean, I guess they're trying to get the hero shooter crowd to come across the battle royales.
Yeah,
but like, they have those, I think, to a degree. I don't know. I don't play many battle royales.
Me either. Does that say something as well?
It means we probably suck at them, so we just don't play them.
Look, can you not say something so painful yet so accurate?
Because we're old.
Yeah, look, I loved PUBG. I think PUBG was a ton of fun. Fortnite, can't stand. But now they have the no build one. I'm like, maybe I'm interested now.
Well, Fortnite with no build's kind of rad.
Yeah, that sounds like. And if I go in there and I can get my Kratos skin, I can get my Nathan Drake skin, I can get my fucking Aloy skin, and I can play with having to build like a nice 1960s Australian farmhouse while I'm shooting at someone, then I'm totally in. If I can do that, then I'm suddenly more interested in the game. Speaking of game that I'm super fucking interested in.
Yeah, I'm super keen.
The Quarry. Supermassive Games has always loved to blur the lines between games and interactive movies and just straight up film with its titles. But its next experience, The Quarry, appears to go one step further. Selectable from the main menu is Movie Mode, which is, as the name would imply, allows you to sit back and watch the game from start to finish without ever pressing a button. You can set some parameters and then relax as everything plays out on screen. Detailed in a new IGN first video, Movie Mode sits just below the new game option on the main menu. It's important to know. It presents you with a few options. Quote, everyone lives, and quote, everyone dies, so there are two you can quickly select. But then there's also the director's chair. From here, you can tab through each playable character in the game and dictate their personality and reactions to specific situations. The video shows how you can pick between Laura being adept, erratic, or clumsy whilst under pressure. And the same goes for Ryan, not me, Nick, and Caitlin. You can change these parameters for all 9 of the characters in the story. The Quarry launches on PlayStation 5 and PS4 on the 10th of June 2022. Now, I did reach out to our friend Kat Benstead over at Hear Us Scream, and she is like, shit, yes, I want to come talk about the Quarry with us. So we will be doing a special episode of More the Players with Kat around June, because she's a huge horror movie buff, and I think she's the best person to talk to about this.
The biggest question, though, can I get the platinum playing Movie Mode?
Because if you can, then I'm suddenly getting the platinum.
Can I set the parameters in such a way where I can get the platinum in one playthrough without ever touching the controller?
It'd be kind of awesome. Like, it just to see that potential would be so good. So good. But like, I love this though, because like, it's one of those things where if the game is X amount of time long and you want to see a run where everyone lives and you see a run where everyone dies, all right, cool. Like, as an example, so I play games once. Rarely or ever will I play a game a second time. But I could watch a game a second time, especially if it's completely different to the one that I played. It's certainly more tempting than watching. Like, I don't really want to watch some fucking YouTuber's run of it or someone playing it on Twitch. No offense to YouTube, you know, we make content, you know, but I don't want to hear someone talking over me. I just want to see it. And it won't be compressed by the YouTubes. It'll be on 4K or whatever on my televisions. I could sit back on my couch and be like, yeah, everyone is living. I think they didn't make a bunch of bad choices like I did. That's nice.
I didn't fuck up that one QTE and now everyone's dead.
Yeah. Dude, that happened to me in Little Hope. I was so fucking mad. I kept everyone alive until the last fight. And then the guy with the glasses had to get jacked up. I was like, boo. Fuck, I'm keen for this game though. Very, very keen.
Ryan, quick biddies. Here's another game that you're keen for. Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town is coming to PlayStation 4 this summer, which I think is technically our winter.
Yeah, very, very soon. Very excited. I think I talked about it previously. It ran like Garbo on the Switch. Put it on the PS4. If it runs better, then I'm suddenly super keen.
Remedy has announced that it will be remaking PlayStation 2 classics Max Payne and Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne for the PlayStation 5 in partnership with Rockstar Games.
Oh, man, did you play the Max Paynes back in the day?
I didn't. Own
what?
Fun fact, I didn't own a PS2.
Oh, well, I have two of them here if you want to. You know. Look, when PlayStation Plus comes out in June, maybe you can go back. But look, Max Payne's a ton of fun. One of its big selling points was it's a lot of bullet time-esque gameplay, very similar to The Matrix. So the thing that I want to know about here, because it says they're remaking it, right? So if we look at like even Alan Wake Remastered, like it looked awesome. It looked like a next-gen game. But it was, the example that I used on News to Reviews was it's the same skeleton, but the meat is more delicious. Because it's like, you know, it still felt like a 360 game, but it just looked better. So it's one of those things like where if you're building on an old game or an old foundation, an old skeleton in this poorly made example, regardless of how you put the muscle on the bone and how you skin it, the foundation's still the same. And there's a lot of things in those early Max Payne games that would be unbearable now. So to go back and remake them completely, big win. And also, if we're going on the back of what Remedy have done with, because I believe it's using the same engine that they used to make Control. And, you know how much we loved Control, Max. We gave all the kisses to Control. So if they can do Max Payne-y shit in a control-y kind of way.
In a controlled environment.
Yeah, in a controlled environment, then I'm suddenly super invested.
Okay. Tactics Ogre Reborn has been trademarked by Square Enix.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very old tactical game. What it probably means is we're getting a mobile version.
Okay.
Not a new one. Who knows, though? Dying Light 2 is getting a new game plus later this month.
Oh, you going to play it again?
Probably not.
Oh.
I did not enjoy Dying Light 2 as much as I enjoyed Dying Light 1. 2 Point Campus has been pushed back to August.
Oh, what? Oh.
Sniper Elite 5 has gone gold ahead of its May release.
Man, I didn't know about 2 Point Campus getting pushed. But Max.
Support has ended for Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah, I talked about that before. I'm sad about 2 Point Campus.
And Monkey Island could possibly be making its return this year.
I bet
but because everything gets delayed, it'll be next year.
Yeah, so I bet it will get pushed back, just like 2 Point Campus. Really excited for 2 Point Campus.
You'll have to wait for graduation another couple of months.
Yeah. No, well, here's the upcoming titles that aren't 2 Point Campus. Road 96 coming to PS4 and PS5 on April 14th. Sally Face coming to PS4 and PS5 also April 15th. And Winter and Ember PS4 and PS5 coming April 19th. So literally fucking nothing to play this week. Which is good because, as we said at the start of the show, I have 9 codes that of games that I should be playing instead of looking at any new one that's coming out. So, my bad.
Yeah, I know that, Phil. It's
yeah.
100% a first world problem, but
Yeah, it's once again, it's very much like, oh, we got all these free games you had to play. Yeah, no, it's such a weird, like.
Don't get us wrong, we are super appreciative.
Oh yeah, no, we are very, very, very grateful.
We are going to get to them. It's just been a doozy of a time.
Yeah, and if we look towards the rest of this year, like there's nothing, like near on nothing has a locked date. So I'm like, and the rest of the year's gonna be dead. This is play. We'll get to it later. Look, Ghostwire Tokyo still might be shit in 6 months from now, but I'll play it in 6 months from now. I did poo on that game a lot in news reviews as well.
It's not hitting me either, to be honest.
I think you enjoyed it initially more than I did because of your love for Japan and because you've been there. Like, I've been on that street. I'm like, I've never been on that street in my life. Is the street this has such poor frame rate in real life?
But the repetitiveness of the finger blasting, it's kind of wearing on me.
Yeah, it is funny to say finger blasting around Japan, but even that then has its surface level entertainment. Speaking of surface level entertainment, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Oh, jeez.
I hope you've had a good time. Sorry, I've not been awesome and I've not played any games. And I hope I've still managed to somewhat entertain you.
Hang on. The one good thing about recording this late on a Sunday night, apparently, Kingdom Hearts 4 has just been announced with an epic launch trailer.
Really?
Yeah, apparently 6 minutes ago.
Well, you have a hard on for for Kingdom Hearts. All right, boot it up. Live react to it. You know what? We've got a couple of minutes left, Max. Live react to it for me.
Well, it is their 20th anniversary.
Tell me what you see, because I don't fucking care. So tell me what you see.
That's a fucking 7-minute trailer.
Oh, that's got to be gameplay and stuff, right? I'm not doing 7 minutes.
I'm just gonna quickly skip some stuff. This is really loud in my ear. Why does it look like a chibi style tactical? Oh, here we go. There's some real gameplay now. Well, as everyone knows, Kingdom Hearts is ridiculous with their story continuity between all the games that are on 3 different platforms.
Yeah, 364 over to the square root of 9.
I slept for 364 years divided by 2. Yeah, I'm totally not live reacting to a 7-minute video. That's crazy.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
There must be lots of stuff in here because it looks like there's some mobile stuff. There looks like some.
Oh, so they're just kind of like blowing their load on Kingdom Hearts shit.
There's a car being picked up by the darkness. We're in the real world now. I'm super confused. There's more Keyblade.
One thing that I always like about Kingdom Hearts is when they just pull cool, obscure Disney worlds out. You know, I was like, oh, here's a Toy Story world. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I want to play this. And then I play it, and boy, I fucking hate it. They dance to the tunes.
And then obviously because it's a Disney game, are we going to get to see, are they going to be Marvel worlds
Star Wars. Marvel.
I mean, I think there was Star Wars last time. Like, we got Pirates of the Caribbean and all that stuff. Was there a Star Wars?
No.
I can't remember.
Was there?
But could we get Marvel worlds?
Marvel. Oh.
Can I have Iron Man as a companion?
You get fucking Titus, whatever his prick name is, Haley Joel Osment goes to Asgard.
Disney developed by Square Enix.
This could be cool. I still won't play it because it's fucking weeby. Anyways, as we're saying, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a lovely time. Let us know what you think of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer that went for 7 minutes. And Max, I don't want to talk about it. He's really locked into watching it right now.
Yeah, I'm still listening to what you're saying.
I wouldn't.
Kind of, sort of, maybe. Look, it's 9:45 on a fucking Sunday night. I gotta go to work in 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit this and die.
Right, and I've been awake since 8 o'clock this morning.
All right, wrap it up, Max. Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, everyone. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. like to take part in future conversations with us, you can come and check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening to some podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise, topculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Or you can help support the show, you can help support the brands, help support us, which includes the likes of Manscaped. So if you head over to au.manscaped.com, use the promo code FTP, save yourself 20% off and get free worldwide shipping. But until next week, where we've hopefully have played some games, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm watching the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer.
Fucking nerd. We'll see you next week.
See you next, maybe.
Oh yeah, have a happy Easter, everyone. We may or may not see you because families and chocolate and stuff.